Welcome to another video tutorial from Bellina Payroll. In this video we explain how to add a new employee to your Bellina system. If there are a number of employees being added, they can be entered one at a time using this method. Otherwise, employee information can be imported from a spreadsheet. How this is done is explained in the Bellina Helping Manual. If you're entering a lot of employees, it is possible to set up default values for some of the fields that will save time when capturing information. This is done using default buttons you can see at the bottom of the screen. Again, this is explained fully in the Bellina Helping Manual. To enter one employee at a time, go to the Edit menu, then select Employee Master. A table shows a list of employees that are currently in the system. In our case, there are none. To add an employee, press the Insert button. We are presented with a form with 8 tabs. The tab that is open is called Personal 1 and contains a number of fields. Those fields with red asterisks are required or compulsory fields and need to have an entry. These include code, surname, first name, nationality, national ID, gender, and date of birth. Accurate date of birth information is particularly important because this date is used in calculating elderly tax credits and NASA pension deductions. The other fields can be filled in later, if required, when the information comes to hand. A default 3-digit code comes through as default, which can be changed if necessary. The field is alphanumeric, so a combination of letters and numbers can be used. We will accept the default code 001, then enter the employee's surname and first name. We will accept the default nationality and enter the national ID. Then we will accept the default gender and enter the date of birth. Use the drop-down menu to select the marital status that applies to the employee. We will select married and enter the spouse name and spouse ID. We now enter the address details of the employee, and if these are the same as the postal address, we press the envelope icon to have the address details copied across. We now press the ellipsis button in the box in the bottom right-hand corner to upload an employee photograph. Once done, we move to the Personal 2 tab. Notice where to add a phone number. A personal email address and/or business email address is essential for payslips if payslips are to be emailed to employees. For an employee to open a payslip, they need to enter a password. Initially emailed payslips have employee code as the default password. This should be replaced as soon as possible with an agreed payslip password that an employee needs to enter to open their emailed payslip. We now move on to the Works tab. The first required field is the engagement date. Either type the date in date/month/year format or use the drop-down arrow to see a calendar and select the date required. The quickest way to navigate to the correct date is to click on the date on the top line of the calendar, which will take you back progressively to the approximate date required. Please note, if an employee has been engaged midway through a period, there is a facility in the system to prorate the basic to take into account part of the period worked. This is explained further in the Bellina Helping Manual. We now use the drop-down menus to select occupation, department, pay point, position, cost center, as well as grade and NEC grade, if they apply to the employee. If you find that selection is not available under any of these headings, use the ellipsis button to the right end of each field to create the selection required in the same way explained in the previous video tutorial. We will now enter the annual number of days of leave entitlement for this employee. In a monthly payroll, this is often set to 22 days. The system will use this to calculate the number of days to accrue each period. If the employee is working in an industry with different working conditions to the main body of employees on the payroll, select the industry that the person is working in. The conditions set up for that industry will then apply to this employee. Use the drop-down menu to select the employment type. Notice that there is full-time, contract, part-time, casual, seasonal, cadetship, full-time with probation, and apprenticeship. If it is full-time employment, we select full-time, but there is contract or casual, where there is a time frame applied to the employment, then the system will allow the entry of a start date and an end date for the contract or probationary period. The system has two ways of handling the end of the contract. The first is where the system notifies the administrator that the contract is ended and requiring you to discharge the employee manually, or you can set the system to auto-discharge employee on contract expiry. For this example, we select full-time. We now move on to the Pay tab, where we set up the payment details for the employee. Select the payment method. Use the drop-down to select cash, check, savings, or transfer. We will select transfer for this example. We now select the payment basis. What is the rate of pay based on? It can be based on a rate per period, a daily rate, or hourly rate. In the case of daily and hourly rates, the number of days and hours are captured and the total value calculated to be paid as the total basic for that period. In this example, we select period since it is a monthly payroll. Since the employee is being paid a basic for the month, which has been entered in the employee master, we accept the default radio button setting against employee master. If this was not the case, we would set the radio button to internal grade or NEC to have the basic come from what has been set as the internal grade or NEC grade rate. We now enter the rate of pay for the employee, which in this example is $850 USD. This is the basic pay exclusive of any other earnings, allowances, benefits, or deductions. Select the payslip currency type, which in this example is defaulting to USD. If we were running the payroll in another currency, for example Zimbabwe Gold, then we use the drop-down and select Zimbabwe Gold. Since our employee is being paid by transfer, we also need to enter the employee's banking details. When I press the drop-down against bank details, we can see that no bank details have yet been set for this employee. So to enter these bank details, use the ellipsis button next to bank details to enter the first of any number bank details for the employee. We are presented with a blank table. Press the insert button to enter the details of the first bank. Use the drop-down against bank to select the employee's bank, then select bank branch that the employee uses. Enter the employee's account number. Then we select the account type. It can be either current or savings account. In this example, we select current account. The system allows the net pay to split between the employee's bank accounts. Notice that the default allocation shows that 100% of the net pay will go to the account detailed above. If we wish to split the net pay to different banking accounts with say 60% to the account above, then we would need to enter the details of another account or accounts where the remaining 40% can be sent. For further information on how to do this, see the Bellina Help and Manual. We will leave the allocation at 100% going to the above account. By clicking Apply as Amount, you can specify an amount that will be paid from the net paid to the account specified above. It will be necessary to set up another bank or banks where the balance would be paid. For this example, we will leave it at 100% being paid to one bank account. We now press OK to save the details of the bank. Notice the bank details listed on the table. We now press Close and we can see the bank details coming through in the Employee Master Pay tab. We will now have a brief look at the Medical tab. Here we enter the medical aid scheme details for the employee as well as other medical information. This topic is covered fully in the Bellina Help and Manual. Since in this example the employee is being engaged at the beginning of the tax year, or at least in the first period of the tax year, we should instead set the tax method to the FDS average method of calculating taxation. If employees in the payroll are being paid in USD in a single or multi-currency payroll, then ensure the tax table type is set to USD. If the payroll is being paid in Zimbabwe Gold, then set the default option. The P6 accumulatives section of this screen fields with details as information is processed on the payroll. If our employee has the use of motor vehicles as an employment benefit, then press Insert and enter the details of the vehicle. The most important detail to capture is the vehicle engine capacity, since the value of the tax benefit is calculated based on what is entered into the field. Click the checkbox if the value of the benefit is to be inserted automatically onto the payslip. Then OK to save. The Balances tab shows a summary of various types of leave balances. The Leave Conflicts tab is the place where you can list employees who cannot go on leave at the same time as this employee. Notice the More button in the top right-hand corner of the screen. This button gives access to a number of new tabs that enable the entry of more human resources aspects into the employee master. Notice the Documents tab in particular, where you can upload copies of the employee's certificates, CV, passport and driver's license, and any other documents for the employee. We have now entered what we want for this employee. Press OK to save the information captured. Notice the employee is now listed on the Employee Master table. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this video useful, please like this page and subscribe to our channel. This will ensure that you are informed of new video releases and updates. For further assistance, please do not hesitate to access this or other topics in our comprehensive help and manual. This is available on the Bellina main menu and also from our website. You can also access information and our support team through our chat platform. Links to our website and chat platform are given on this YouTube channel.